They came from the stars, bringing death and destruction. In 2350, our peaceful world was shattered. These alien invaders darkened our skies and crushed our defenses with their advanced technology. Humanity fought with everything we had, but it wasn't enough. When the attack started, sirens wailed across the globe. Cities were under fire. People were running in panic, not knowing where to go. The largest cities were the first targets. New York, London, Tokyo, all turned into battlefields. The aliens, with their high-tech weapons, easily overcame our defenses. In the command center, chaos reigned. Military leaders were desperately trying to organize the resistance. The last hope of humanity rested in the hands of a few brave warriors. But the enemy, with its technological and numerical superiority, was an overwhelming force. I was just a baby then, but I've heard the stories. Brave men and women stood their ground, fighting to their last breath. But in the end, it was hopeless. Humanity was enslaved, and the world we knew was gone. On the battlefield, humanity's last defenders fought heroically. They used their last bullets and breathed their last breaths in defiance. But with every passing second, the enemy drew closer. General Marcus was at the front line. Alongside him, hundreds of soldiers tried to hold back the tide. But their bullets and explosives were no match for the enemy's energy weapons. "We'll fight to the end," Marcus shouted. "This is our world, and we'll take it back." But when the enemy's advanced robots and war machines approached, the resistance's end was inevitable. People fell one by one, even the last heroes lost their defenses. In the midst of this chaos, my parents fought to protect me. I was just an infant, cradled in my mother's arms. My father, wielding his rifle, stood guard, trying to fend off the relentless onslaught. They knew they couldn't survive, but their hope was to save me. Amidst the chaos and destruction, a group of rebels spotted my parents' desperate fight. One of them, a fierce warrior named Kara, saw my mother shielding me with her own body. Kara, with tears in her eyes, fought her way through the debris and chaos to reach us. She pried me from my mother's lifeless arms, promising to keep me safe. Kara carried me through the burning streets, dodging falling debris and enemy fire. The air was thick with smoke and the smell of burning flesh. The screams of the dying echoed in my ears, though I was too young to understand the horror around me. Kara held me close, whispering words of comfort and hope. Finally, we reached a hidden entrance to the underground refuge. Kara, along with a handful of other survivors, descended into the depths of the earth. This was to be my new home, a place where I would grow up away from the devastation above. My childhood was spent in that underground shelter. The rebels watched over me every day. I grew up in this dark and cold place, but I was never alone. There were people around me, protecting and training me. The underground refuge was a vast network of tunnels and chambers, hidden deep beneath the surface. It was a place of shadows and echoes, where the remnants of humanity clung to life. The walls were lined with old machinery and makeshift living quarters. It was a grim and bleak existence, but it was our sanctuary. Dr. Adrian Voss was responsible for my education. Voss was a brilliant scientist and taught me both academic and practical knowledge. He taught me how to analyze alien technology, hack their systems, and repair advanced machinery. From a young age, I was trained to be an engineer and a hacker. Dr. Voss was a man of few words, but his wisdom was vast. He often spoke of the world above, describing the blue skies and green fields that I had never seen. His stories painted a picture of a world worth fighting for, a world that I was destined to save. My physical training was overseen by Major Lucas Drake. Drake, a former Special Forces officer, taught me martial arts, survival skills, and strategic thinking. Every day, we endured long hours of rigorous training. Endurance is not just about muscles, it's about willpower, Drake would say. Never give up, Lyra. That will be your greatest weapon. Drake was a tough and demanding mentor, but his lessons were invaluable. He pushed me to my limits, teaching me how to fight, how to survive, and how to lead. Under his guidance, I became a warrior. Growing up in the underground, I never saw the outside world. But my imagination was vast, and Dr. Voss's stories helped me understand the world. Voss told me about humanity's past, its culture, and its hopes. One day, you will emerge from this darkness and lead humanity to rise again, Voss would say. You are our hope, Lyra. I didn't fully grasp the meaning of these words, but a sense of responsibility grew within me. What did it mean to be the chosen one? Why me? I never really understood these questions, and perhaps I never will. Years passed, and I grew up. Now a young woman, the purpose of my training became clear. The time had come. I would venture to the surface and fight to save humanity. One morning, I prepared for my first mission. Major Drake and Dr. Voss gave me their final instructions. The time has come, Lyra, Drake said. This is a turning point for us. We will strike the first serious blow against the enemy. As I stepped out of the underground shelter, I struggled to control my mixed feelings of excitement and fear. Seeing the surface for the first time, the sight was devastating. Ruined buildings, a dark sky, and a world shrouded in silence. The city, once teeming with life, was now a desolate wasteland. The streets were littered with the remnants of our past, a stark reminder of what we had lost. The air was thick with the smell of decay and the distant sounds of alien machinery. But I was determined. I would awaken the spirit of resistance and reclaim Earth as our home. With my first steps, I was ready to start a new era for the resistance.